Hello, welcome to another episode of Drinking with Comics. I'm Sean.
Not Mike.
And Mike, we thought we put the Oktoberfest to bed last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, when we did our Halloween recommendations episode. But there is one more Oktoberfest we have, and you gave this
Yes.
to me. So talk about
Yes.
this beer,
It's called Rhinegeist, which I'm
Rhinegeist.
probably Rhinegeist.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm pronouncing that wrong. Franz. It's the Rhinegeist brewery out of Ohio.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
I've never actually visited I visited Ohio once and I grabbed a bunch of their beer and it was very good. Now it's kind of coming into yeah, into
You, you,
Illinois a little bit more here and there. So, yeah.
Franz, this is the Dennis Franz beer.
Dennis Franz.
Yeah, Dennis Franz actually oh no, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Hey, douchebag, your beer is good. Give me money.
Uh,
So you
so
have a
yeah,
you have a fancy Oktoberfest.
I have this lovely mug thing I've never actually drank out of before
Stein.
from
It's a
New
Stein.
Glarus, my Stein, with a lid on it to keep the roofies out. Germans are well aware of that, girls.
It's a lovely
Ooh,
color. Look at that. Oh my God.
yeah. Here. Get that.
Yeah, there's a problem with Steins is that they're heavier and it's hard to tilt them properly in order to avoid what happened to you there with the two-thirds head.
Look at that color. Ooh, the beer like.
Damn.
I
Cheers,
poured a
mate.
lot of head on that. Cheers.
So I've had this before. I like Rhinegeist beer. I don't remember the other ones I've had. I've had it in Ohio. I think whenever I go to Dayton, I find it there and drink it.
Okay.
This is a solid Oktoberfest. I've had it multiple years in a row. Um, I I didn't have it last year, as I mentioned, for whatever reason. Last year, Marzens that just did not agree with me, and it luckily stopped because I love Oktoberfest beers. And
Oh, congratulations.
I don't think this is quite. There's something about that first one we did last week, which I'm blanking on what that was. But I'll
Was
put
it
a link right here to
Victory?
the episode. Huh?
Was it
No, it wasn't.
Victory?
It wasn't the victory. It was the other one, and I'm totally
Okay.
blanking. But this is it's solid. Like I could drink this
Mhm.
all night long.
And we
And
will.
I love their little logo too.
Oh yeah, the little skull guy. I had a nice pint glass from them. They were at my favorite bar, Blue Island or Rock Island, where we were at the other day.
Oh yeah. Oh, they were there.
Yeah, they were there doing a handout, and I got a free glass, and then I dropped it and broke
So
it.
many, dude. So many.
Ugh.
Back on an episode of this show from years ago when we were at the Comic Bug, I remember we had Comic Bug had Death of Wolverine pint glasses made, and I didn't read the bullshit story, but the pint glass was fucking amazing. Dropped it. It's one of the hazards of the job, man.
Yeah, it was one I used a lot, and I lost it. Let's have a memorial for the lost pint glasses of the world.
Yeah, hey man. Well, I'm not pouring any out on the ground, but I'll pour it down my
No,
gullet.
but now play the sad. Doo-doo-doo.
So, dude, under the umbrella, let's just go right for it, man. So 2 episodes of Penguin. I don't even think we need to talk about last week's because it was amazing, but this week's, I mean, I don't know that we should go spoiler.
a, a couple of things about last week's. The kid they got to play Penguin was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, he was. He was really
Um,
good.
it was I was not expecting a flashback episode in the series, so that was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
And um, and there's the the flip side of like this episode was because there's going to be a couple spoilers because I like to talk about spoilers, I
Yeah,
guess.
so okay, so let me just preface
But
before you continue, listeners, if you haven't watched the finale, we're gonna go spoilers because we got to talk about it. So just come back later.
yeah, just
Don't
cover
listen.
your ears, fast forward
No,
a few
don't just
minutes,
hit
continue
stop.
watching the video, rewatch the video again. You know, give us those views.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Mm. So the fact that the at the end, this is first the last episode, not this current episode, when the mom takes Penguin out to the club, and it felt all like, okay, things are gonna get better. She's accepting all this stuff. And then in this episode, it began when you find out that, oh no, she was gonna off him.
Yeah,
Really made a different view. But yeah, it was it's a solid episode. A lot happened in it. A lot of sad shit happened in it. A lot of really good cinematography. I'll
yeah,
give it that, especially with the um, I'm not gonna say like fully things, but Sophia's kind of end was
yeah.
wonderfully shot. Um,
Well, you could say that because we're gonna go spoilers, so we're just gonna talk about it. So I will say in in
spoilers.
last week's episode, you know what's really interesting about this current Batman mythos is that this show has really made me feel for the people of Gotham because
Yeah.
it starts with them picking up the pieces and Crown Point and nobody gives a shit and the seawall destroyed all this stuff and blah blah blah. And then now that with the explosion underground, like holy fuck, dude. Like you're just like, how much more can these people fucking take?
Uh, more? Not enough. I feel it though.
I was well, okay. The one we're gonna talk around the one major in my mind, the major spoiler. But so I just love the fact that they caught me completely off guard with this episode with the way that it ended. Not the very end, but after
Yeah.
he triumphs, right? And
Yes.
they were very aware you had grown attached to him and you had been rooting for him. And
Oh my God.
they just were like, oh, by the way, this guy is a terrible, fucking awful, evil person. Because that
Yes.
was some fucking dude. I was literally
As
like,
soon, like, did you like as soon as he slowly spit out family? I was like, oh man, no, because we know how Penguin treats his family.
dude.
So
I,
yeah, that was harsh.
oh my god, dude, that changed. It like changes the entire series. To rewatch this series now will be 100% a different thing. It is. I made a comparison last week on Facebook, just appealing to people that might be passing this by, like I would have if not for you. That like
Yeah.
this is. I said this is like Breaking Bad level awesome, and that's what that does for this show. Where like Breaking Bad, I watched it as it aired, and it was one experience. But once you've seen the
Mhm.
whole thing and you go back and rewatch it, it's a totally different show
Yeah, I bet.
because you don't root for
Uh,
Walt anymore. You know, it's like you're like, no, this guy's garbage. Like, I mean, it's still thrilling to watch him and you want his arc, but it's like he's not the good guy. You don't feel the same way, and so it's what's going to happen here. Oh,
yeah, and I like the Breaking Bad. Like, I just haven't finished Better Call Saul. I still have to watch the last season. I kind of just want to restart all off in chronological order, but I like that you get everything out of it.
I've
Like,
never seen Saul. Only the first season. I need to do that. I really need to
yeah,
do that.
I haven't finished it, but it is very good. It does tie into the show very
Yeah,
well
I know a
in
lot of
ways
people that say it's
like,
better.
yeah, I could see that. It's been a long time since I've seen Breaking Bad though too, and
I will tell you, I showed
I
that to
like the
Kirsten a
movie.
couple years ago, and I still absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites of all time, but it is so dark that I was like, this might be the last time I watch this. Maybe, maybe not, but it's man, it really puts a weight on your soul.
That's kind of the reason why I haven't gone back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very weighty uh show.
It is. It's
Every
not like not quite like 6 Feet Under, where I really want to rewatch that and I really want her to see it, but I'm literally terrified of watching it.
6 feet. Well, yeah.
That last season and a half is just, I'll never forget. Because when we moved, right? I remember
Uh-huh.
we would watch it, and talk about it. And when I left Chicago in 2006, when I finished it, because it was like interrupted. So I think I waited until it was all out or something. I forget how I watched it, but everyone else had seen I had stopped at the beginning of season 4. And then
Uh-huh.
it took me like a year or something, and I watched it. And it just takes such a sharp, dark turn that
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus fucking like it almost reminds me of Requiem for a Dream, where it's just like, oh my God, everybody's like life is just falling apart in the worst possible way. What the fuck? Ugh.
Much like the good people of Gotham.
Man, God damn, dude, Penguin is.
So to get to like the theory parts, like the very end, right?
Hmm.
Thank God he's looking like the Penguin now. My
Yeah.
number one complaint has been answered at the end. Like, oh, he's got the finery and the suits. I would have liked to seen like him change his name to Cobblepot to look more like, oh, I'm sophisticated because my last name's Cobblepot, which I
Hmm.
think's the plan because I never noticed that he was going by Oswald Cobb.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm assuming that's the plan, but they didn't really cement that. But I do like, oh my God, the fact he had the suit and the riches, and it looks like he's going into like politics.
Hmm.
Kind of hinted at that. I don't know. Kind of hard to believe a criminal running for politics, but
um,
or succeed. But this is the world we live in.
Very
Um,
interesting that Sophia gets the letter from Selena Kyle, her half sister.
yeah. Although, why was it black?
What, the letter?
The letter itself was written on black paper.
Yeah.
I was like, come on. I guess you wanted to be seen. I don't know.
No.
But yeah, I like that. I like that Sophia lived to do whatever another day. Maybe give her another show in Arkham. That would be kind of cool.
I just
Like,
like that he left her alive because I felt like it was a fitting punishment for her. She was fine. She would have rather been killed.
yeah, I believe that 100%. Yeah, it was the torture, like even more sadistic than killing her. Yeah, just letting her take the fall too.
Well, going right back to the fucking mental institution, right? Right
Well,
back
yeah,
to
but
Arkham.
she's the fall guy, so he's
Yep.
innocent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's innocent. Yep.
and no one's gonna believe her because she's crazy.
Yep.
So yeah, and she knew that when she turned around and saw the cops. It's like, crap,
Yep.
I'm screwed.
Did the look on her
Uh,
face was priceless, man. It was absolutely
that's
priceless.
that's what I love about the scene is like, when you kind of see the side of her face, she kind of almost closes her eyes like, I'm free. Like this is
Yeah,
it. Okay,
yes.
I'm cool with this. And then the lights shine on. It's like, oh no, this is worse.
Yep. And
Um,
also at that time, you're still rooting for him, right? So you're like, fuck yeah, she was your major opponent. You fucked her up. Awesome. And then he does the terrible thing like within the next 5 or 10 minutes, and you're like, oh God. Oh my God. Oh,
and
so
the
well
funny
done.
part, that's not even the worst part. The prostitute dressing up like his mom.
Okay, so
Oh my
dude,
God.
I literally was watching that going, wait, did they have the same actress play the younger? I was so confused because she looked just fucking like her.
I know.
It was
It
so
was so
weird.
creepy.
Oh,
It was, oh, and it just made him like even more like, ugh.
yeah. It was. Oh, I mean, you definitely got that in last week's episode with as a little kid. You got that. There's a little bit of a like, is this Bates Motel? Like, what? What's going on here, man? And but then it also makes sense that that's why that was his,
Favorite
his
girl,
exactly
because she
because she,
does
I
remind him
mean,
of his mom.
it didn't even
Yeah,
dawn on me.
no, because she wore had blonde hair and all that stuff, and yeah, and I wonder how long they've been doing that cat weird little game that they've been playing. It's
Man,
just so so like a good level of cringe added to the end of that show.
yeah,
They didn't even need it, but
yeah. And then that you slowly pan away from the window of the penthouse, and I thought we were going to see him standing on like a gargoyle, but instead you just see the fucking bat
bat
signal
signal.
in the
Yeah,
air, and I
I
was
feel
like,
like that would have been better to see him like
I,
not the shadow of
yeah,
just
that would have been
Batman.
fine. I would have been
Yeah,
fine with it, but the bat signal worked, and it was
yeah,
just the point that like, okay, now we're segueing into whatever comes next. So
yes. I really hope they do more shows. This has been solid. I'd like to see more aspects of Gotham explored. I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed the movie. Um,
yeah, for sure, for
yeah.
sure.
Um, I'm not even excited. Like I'm excited about the new movie, but I'm more excited about the prospect of another show related in that movie universe. Not whether it's set in Arkham with the strange doctor that we really don't even know who he is, who's kind of still with Sophia and her world, or Penguin coming back, or just some other rando dude. Um, it would be fun to see, though.
I think it would be cool. I think we mentioned this on an episode not that long ago, but isn't it Brubaker that wrote Gotham PD?
Brubaker and Rucka both wrote um, Gotham. I think it's either Gotham PD, kind of for right. My life, I can't remember what it's called.
I think it was
Gotham
PD.
Central.
That's it. That's it.
Gotham
And
Central.
I I think it was collected at some point, and there had been some like there had been some problems with the art in previous trade paperbacks and it was corrected, but I feel like it might have already gone out of print because this is a while ago. But
I
I feel
think
like I want to track
it's a
those down.
hardcover now.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
track that down, and I think that would be a good way to go because the thing with the city is so fucked up. Like, yeah, that's the way to go. You know what I mean? And
Well, I
like,
mean, it's we're that's kind of what Gotham was based on, though. The TV show covered a
yeah, I
lot
don't
of
want
this
that
stuff
though.
too,
I know I don't want
but
that.
it was good. Not as good as this, but good in its own corny way. I'll give it that. I actually enjoyed Gotham a lot. It had a really good. It did something that I wish more television shows did. So they do that 26 episode season, right? They kind of broke it down into three parts: your fall, um, post Christmas, and then beginning of summer blocks. So that's how TV kind of works. If you watch TV live, or if you remember ever watching TV live before it was streaming, they'll air like season would start in the fall. It'll go up to like December, and then as soon as Christmas was over, they'll start showing new episodes up for like a couple, like 6 episodes. Then they'll go to another break because of some dumb reality show that Fox needed to air, and then they'll come back at the end of summer and finish the show, right? But they did a really good job on that show of you, you know how on like Buffy there's the villain of the year,
Yeah, yeah.
like that promise of the show where they would fight the overall villain for the year. They did it the villain every other 3 months.
Okay.
So so it was like the Mad Hatter would be the fall segment, and it would kind of lead into a fish story, which would be the big story in the middle, and then it would kind of lead into like Azrael in the summer or something like that. It was very when they cut off to break, it felt like that one season felt like three
Okay.
British seasons, if it made sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you get a
Okay.
lot of bang for your buck out of the 4 years Gotham was on, because it didn't feel like a 4 year season. It kind of almost felt like, I don't know, like 12 seasons, like 12 British
Yeah,
seasons
right. I got it.
crammed into
Got it.
one. Yeah. It was an overarching. theme throughout the whole season, but the big bad was always like, here's 4 episodes about this guy, here's 4 episodes about this guy, here's 4 episodes about that guy, which made it, a little more entertaining to watch, I
I could
guess you
see
could
that.
say.
I watched
Yeah,
like
and
three-quarters of the first episode. I hated it with a blinding passion, but I don't like there. It fits that. I don't know what you want to call that. Like I think of it as this WB aesthetic, and it's just not for me. Like this to me is I want
yeah,
this to carry on. Like I love
there's
this.
a there's a certain, I'm not gonna say cheesiness to it. There's a little bit of cheesiness to it, Gotham, than there is like, this is more serious Sopranos television, and
Yeah.
Gotham was a little bit more like comic booky, like they knew they were being comic booky. I think it had a great cast on some of the characters in Gotham. I still think Penguin on that show was great, and same
My
with the
girlfriend really
Riddler.
liked him.
Yeah, um, and some of the other characters they threw out there were kind of neat. There was some like you didn't even see coming. Like Solomon Grundy was on the show the whole time. You didn't know it was Solomon Grundy till he died.
Hmm.
Yeah, and a couple other things too. And then, like even Batman. Like there was a great. You know who Tommy Elliott is? Hush, the Hush character with the bandages on his head. Okay,
He was like his
good for you.
neighbor or some shit.
He was his neighbor, and there was an episode in the first season where Bruce Wayne, young Bruce Wayne, goes to school, and Tommy Elliott's making fun of him for being uh haha, your parents are dead, blah blah blah, like joking about him in school. It was like cheesy, and Alfred's like, well, you gotta kind of like be nice to these people and show them, there. So we should just go to um the house, Tommy Elliott's house, and apologize. And he shows him his dad's watch, and he's like, oh yeah, that's his dad's watch. You should go and apologize, or I can't remember the whole deal why they went to this house, but unbeknownst to the viewers, he actually shows them off screen. You take the watch, put it around your knuckles, you beat the shit out of the kid.
Oh
And
man,
that's what Bruce Wayne did. He opened up the door and just beat the shit out of the kid.
that's pretty funny.
And they walk away, and he's just like, "Yep, see, exactly. That's why you put the watch over the knuckles."
So I
And
don't know.
and some other fun, cheesy stuff. But yeah,
I don't know what the future holds for the whatever we're going to call this, the Matt Reeves Bat verse, whatever. But I'm in, so I'm definitely in. So until the next Bat attack. Now, because that was Batman, and
okay.
I'm just gonna throw a curve because if people are like, they're like, you guys talk about Energon Universe, Batman, right? Maybe Ghost Rider, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But I want to real quick first. So, Saga issue 70, and I got to say, like, I love Saga. Okay, I fucking love it. But when it took that hiatus of like 2 years, 2.5 years, whatever it was, ever since it came back, I feel like it lost steam and I keep wanting to start over from the beginning and reread everything. I just haven't had the time to do it. And I was like, man, I'm not going to stop reading it, but I just don't feel the same. Like it just lost some of the steam because of the hiatus. And because it still does, it took a long hiatus and now it still does arcs where it'll do an arc and it'll stop for a couple months. So
That seems to be
that's
like a
not helping.
standard with Image. Yeah.
Yeah, but because it wouldn't, then that would be fine. Except that I feel like it's never ever gotten back up on its feet for me, momentum wise, after that long hiatus. So those don't help, right? But I do feel like as of this issue, I don't know what it was, but I felt like all of a sudden much more compelled. Like it's usually one of the, if I bring home 4 comics or 5 comics and it's one of them, usually it's probably the last one I read. Um,
Okay.
Not because I like it less. It's just I don't know, whatever. The momentum's out there. But I think I read it. I don't remember what I came home with last week, but it was the second one I read. and it slipped back on like a glove that fits so well. And I just the book is it's so it is just imagination like on crack. It's like
Uh-huh.
it's like they're like like Fiona Staples must be like, I thought for this page in the background I'd have this chick squirting milk out of her tits at a dolphin that's holding a flaming torch. Okay.
That reminds me, I need to get caught up on the Saga.
It's like, yeah, okay. Like I've just pictured like, yeah, why wouldn't you do that? Whereas most
Yeah,
comics would be like, huh? Brian K. Vaughan is like, yeah, that sounds great. Can you
yeah.
add, a little bit of Bush? Sure. It's the strangest. It's just so strange and endearing and just crazy. So I really want to go back and fucking reread it from the beginning
I
because it's just wonderful.
unfortunately, there's one of those books like I've told you this before, but I haven't told all you people out there in the world who have liked and subscribed. Um, that I read the first trade, loved it so much, I decided I was going to wait till it was done.
That how you do that?
Which,
This is not a criticism. This is almost more
no,
like awe. But I don't know how you fucking do that because that's crazy to me. It
it,
would not be possible.
I think this is like the first time I was like going to give it a try too. And I bought like all the giant hardcovers, so I'm caught up on those. I think there's like gotta be a new one coming
But you
soon.
haven't read them. I think you should
But
just
I
start reading
haven't
them.
cracked them open. I should.
Maybe
One of
maybe
these
we'll do a
days.
reread for the show.
Oh, anytime.
But
I got
also, dude, it's one of the comics. It's like it reads so fast. It's
that's true.
so it you can read 2, 3 episodes a night in the time where you're reading like your the Robin collection or the Ghost Rider collection. In the time it takes to read one issue of one of those, you can read two sagas easily, if not three, easily. And
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
no, it's a good thing. It's The Walking Dead. It's when the writer and the artist are so just. I always use this word.
No,
The synergy is just they're just so in step, in tune that you don't need a lot of words. Like it's
no, I get that. And there's something good about that, but there's also a little bit of like, um, month to month, it's really hard to do. Like, especially if you take a gap for 6 months or 2 years, it does kind of like you said, you're having a hard time getting back in the groove.
yeah, but it wouldn't be any different. Like I think it's just it's a
It would
different
work
style
for
of
as a
book.
trade. Yeah.
Huh? Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but you have the hardcover, so dude, I'm telling you, maybe we'll do that. Maybe because it is man, it's just so fucking it's just so good.
Is
It's
there
not
any
just good because the story's good. It's like it makes me smile. It makes me feel human. It makes me feel wonderful. It makes me like and but it's also cuckoo bananas. Like it's dark as fuck sometimes and crazy and it's not it's not always nice. Uh but and there's stuff there's like one thing in there where I was just like, oh my god, this is so fucked up. And in any other medium or thing, I feel like I would have been like deal breaker done. But it's just the way that they do it. I don't know. It's
I
just
feel
they're
like
special people.
it needs to be, if they ever did this into like a movie, it'd have to be animated. It'd have to be animated in like a 70s Fritz the Cat style
Yes,
animation.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Mike, what is our second beer? People will know this
Our
because we just
second beer is Two Women from New Glarus. Have you had Two Women before?
you just did this like 2 weeks or 2 episodes ago, but you gave me one when I came in, and you had said I have one for you. And look, we're new Glarus fans, people, so we're gonna drink this again. Well, he's gonna drink it again. I'll drink this any old time. We'll do a whole season of this show where we just drink this beer.
Oh, I have the mug for it. So, I mean,
Lager.
it's very dark in here. Do you want to tell the Two Women story on the can? I can't read it.
4,000 years before Christ, Sumerian women created the divine drink of beer. Viking women brewed in Norse society. European alewives were so successful as cottage brewers they were taxed. Artisanal women lost their domination of the daily ritual of brewing during the Industrial Revolution. Today's brewing trade is controlled by men. The collaboration of two craft companies, both led by women, New Glarus Brewing and Wireman Malting, is unique. You hold the result. Two women, a classic country lager brewed with Wireman's floor malted Bohemian malt and Hallertau Mittenfrew hops. A tempting and graceful classic lager found only in Wisconsin. That's a wonderful story.
I think
And
I give that story 10 stars.
I can tell you right now, as soon as I read the part, for thousands of years before Christ, Sumerian women created a divine drink of beer. I just thought there would be a whole contingent of people, men, that might, especially in the comic book community, sorry community, but you know it's true. What? No fucking way. Bullshit. Click.
What's this woke beer you're drinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. Look at us. We're so woke, enjoying the fine golden um, fruits of a fine woman. Two fine women. Oh man, we're awful.
It's just such a fucking good beer. And New Glarus, I'm unfamiliar with the Wireman, but fucking props, right? But New Glarus, Jesus Christ, like, and that was something when I lived in Chicago. I don't know if you knew about New Glarus yet. I never even heard of them, I don't think, unless we
I
drank them and
don't
I forgot, which is possible.
I don't think we ever did. I didn't find out about them till maybe shortly after you moved.
That
But
seems
I
right.
can't remember for sure. Yeah. I mean, they were there. I just didn't
They
know
were
they were
there, yeah,
there.
but also marketing and stuff like that, and distribution might have
Yeah.
picked up afterwards. I mean, there's things now
Yeah.
we take for granted, like I like Three Floyds. I mean, even like back into like 2015, maybe I remember it was not easy to get. Like my friend Steve Hellman and my friend Joe Grez, I remember I came in and they had driven to Indiana to wait in line at the Three Floyds location to get some beer.
Oh, is that? Oh, no, that's not the dark.
No, 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 no. This was
Oh,
just
okay.
to get any of their beer because
Yeah.
now it's not like it is now. Now when I come into town and I go to a Binny's, it's Three Floyds is
Oh,
fucking
it's
everywhere. You go to Jewel,
yeah,
Three Floyds is everywhere, right?
yeah.
Dude, that shit. So Steve knew a guy that worked at a liquor store, and the reason Steve started driving up there to get it was because the guy at the liquor store, Steve's like, "You never have any." He's like, "Look, man, we try to order whatever, however many cases, whatever," and he's like, they might bring us a six pack. Three Floyds is a success story because they very slowly they created this demand and they prolonged it and then they launched like with the distribution. I don't know the full story, but whether or not it was on purpose or it was just serendipity, it fucking worked, man.
Yeah. They did a good job.
They did a good job. I
And
mean, I
so
don't know if they did
and
a good job with zombie ice, but
and New Glarus also
otherwise,
did a really good job with, yeah, well, that's true. But New Glarus did a really good job of just being Wisconsin owned too. Like you can't
yep,
get it anywhere else. You have to
yeah.
cross the border. As soon as you cross the border, you hit whatever grocery store, Piggly Wiggly or whatever, and you buy some. Do not. This is a tip to me, to you. This is a rock fact. Um, don't go to Cheese Mars Castle. Don't go to the gas stations. Just go straight to your local grocery store and you'll find it the cheapest there. Because that's always where it's the cheapest. They'll have it all. It's everywhere. You don't need to go to like as soon as you cross that border, you hit that Mars Cheese Castle. It's like,
Tell me about this show
oh,
that you're
so
going to try to sell me on. It's called Super
I'm
Loser Jackass or something.
close. It's called Go Go Loser Ranger. It's a new anime. Well, the anime's been out for probably a year or two. I just started watching it this week. It's on Hulu. There's an English dub of it on Hulu, and it is essentially if you take it's Japanese, so there's you know stereotypical things that happen in anime that doesn't happen in American shows, but um, minus that, if you take basically the seven from boys and replace them with the Power Rangers, they're the, and they're the bad guys, this big organization that the Power Rangers have created versus these did you ever watch Power Rangers?
No, I know nothing. I literally the only thing I know about it is like it looks like Ultraman, but with like it looks like Ultraman and Battle of the Planets put together or something.
Okay. It lines, I can't remember. I think it's called like a Go Go Sente or something like that, which is a series of shows in Japan based like on this where everyone has colors and all that stuff. But they fight these like peon. I think we're going to talk about these later. Your red, their version of the Red Ninja Clan. Like how Ghost Riders always fight Red Ninjas and stuff like that. They have their own various Cobra agents, low level pawn, uh, not Power Rangers, but goons that work
Okay.
for the big bad. They come in, they get their asses kicked, and then the Power Rangers come and destroy the big bad of the week, and it goes on its way. In this, the go go shit, what are they called? I think they're called Knights. They're not Power Rangers, but I'm just gonna say Power Rangers to make it
Yeah, that's
easy.
fine. I was gonna say you could just call them
Um,
Power Rangers.
yeah, the Power Rangers of this universe, this show, basically meet up with these goons every week on a Sunday to protect the Earth on a Sunday like football-y type show in a stadium where the masses think that the Power Rangers are saving the Earth, but in reality they just have this deal with these goons that will keep you around if we just kick your ass every week for ratings and money. And one of those goons is like fed up with the whole thing and decides to go rogue, and that's the show. So the rogue goon is, wants to kill the Power Rangers or destroys them, and he
Okay,
just goes
okay.
on his way to do that. So it's all about him, this one rogue little goon, which is what I love. I love to watch, you know, a show about a stormtrooper getting by or a show about a Cobra agent getting by. Just the working class man
Yeah, yeah. Right,
in
right.
villainy who doesn't have anything going on. Which there's a lot of things. There's a couple of things out there like that. Um, Venture Brothers has the two henchmen, so like there's things out there. So I enjoy that aspect of the thing. The guy's just trying to figure out how to stop the Power Rangers, and along the way meets other people in the organization that is kind of on the same boat with him. Like, yeah, no, this is bad. We gotta get rid of it. I'm only 5 episodes in. I've enjoyed it very much. It's been a fun distraction. Um, yeah,
I'll check it
I
out.
like it.
So the thing, was like you asked me to try that Gundam show that just hit Netflix.
That I realized was a mistake.
Well, so here's the thing, and it's not like there's just things that are just not going to be me, just
No,
like
I
there's things
get
that are
it.
not going to be you, right? So it's not a reflection on you.
Mhm.
Um, I'll know right away. I'll know within 5 minutes if I'm going to be in or not. And one of the things I walk in though, I have to check at the door. I have a bias against anything that's Power Rangers ish because to me, when Power Rangers was out, I was like no, like I always read comics, but like that was
Oh
something that like little kids were into. So I
no,
have
I
this.
never watched Power Rangers myself.
No, I know,
Full on,
I
but
understand,
yeah.
I understand that, but I'm just saying. So I have a little bit of that inability to like get past that. So it was just like a lot of people when Radiant Black the comic came out. A lot of people were like, "This is fucking awesome," and I just looked at it. I'm like, "It's not gonna. I'm not gonna be able to put the bias aside." And everybody's description was like, "Oh, but it's like a darker version of." I don't remember how they described it, but it's always pinion. The
It's a
description always pinioned on Power Rangers. So I'm like,
it, it's a darker version of Power Rangers set in Lockport, Illinois.
"Is Radiant Black actually set in Lockport?"
It's written by Kyle Higgins. He's a customer of ours. I've known
No,
him for years.
I
Yeah,
know that, but I didn't realize it's
yeah,
actually
it's set in
set in.
Lockport.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that. Wow, that's interesting.
yeah, it's
Wow,
funny because like we have a store in Lockport, and I would see like areas like, oh yeah, that's the across the street because he'd shop at the store all the time.
that's
Nice
pretty
guy.
cool. Yeah,
I'm
I do like
Kyle. I will read Radiant Black soon if you're watching.
I do like
I
Kyle
do
Higgins
own it.
seems to me he's a good guy. Like I mean I don't
He
know him, but
is.
like you've told me that, and just based on what I have read, which I couldn't even tell you what I've read offhand, but yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm
We might
drinking.
have to give that a try in the future. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, now that I
His
know it's in Lockport, it definitely
yeah.
makes like if somebody had just
Oh,
told me
it's all
that,
yeah. It's set in Lockport. There's a lot of Chicago references. It takes place in our neck of the woods. So
yeah,
yeah, it's kind of fun.
interesting. All right,
Yeah,
so I will try Go Go Ninja Dinosaur, and I'll let you know.
yeah. Give it a range. Loser Ranger. Come on, you gotta say the Loser Ranger part.
The
The first episode is very much a lot of setup, and I really do enjoy the Go-Go Ranger. No, the little. I think they're called Fighter. The main character's name is Fighter D, and I enjoyed all their the bad guy fighter aesthetic because they all wear black with these like skulls on their faces, and they're all kind of goofy looking.
do the
It's
skulls look
fun.
like this?
Yeah. A little bit. You'll look at. I'm sure you'll post a picture up. You'll look it up and find it. It's very easy. Um, yeah, I don't know if the show's going to keep on where it's going from where I'm at, but I'm enjoying where it's going.
Is it a current
If that
show?
makes sense.
Is it still going on, or is
Yes,
it
I
done?
think there's 12 episodes out now, and I think lately there's been just 12 episodes going on with a lot of series. Um, there's another one I watched recently called Kaiju Number 8. That was also 12 episodes. Um, I've been getting into a lot of anime lately.
Now I want to ask you, who's that sitting in front of you there on their bike?
Oh, that is Danny Ketch. Oh, look at that.
I got to tell you,
Oh my
man.
God, wait a minute. Hold on.
That's bomb. And correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't that the cover that was like the glow in the dark cover? I forget what issue it was.
Is issue 13 because I'm not obsessed at all. And yes, I'm very sad it doesn't glow in the dark.
So thank you. Mike upgraded to that brick and gave me this. Um,
Yeah,
I'm about halfway through this and thoroughly enjoying it.
it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
So
Well, and
first of
especially the
all,
stuff that's in there.
the first thing I gotta say is I really love Javier Saltera's and Mark Texteria's art.
Yes.
They're really like there's other artists on this book, but they're like the main, Saltera starts it and then Texeria inks and then takes over. And I think this made Tex a star, right? But it is very clear that this fucking goofy ass motorcycle looks the way it does because not a one of them can draw a motorcycle. Because this shit, there are some pages here where I'm like, dude, that's how I drew motorcycles when I was fucking 10. Like, what am I looking at? They do a better job of it, but it doesn't look like a fucking motorcycle.
I think it's supposed to kind of resemble a horse, maybe. Like judging by the skull on the head is kind of long, and he's a horseman
But
kind of type of
it's just
guy.
like this. And I don't know shit about like I'm not a mechanic, so I can't give you even like the basic vernacular of what I'm looking at. Dude, like what the fuck? There's no,
Oh, hold on,
what the fuck is that?
I literally have it in my hand right here, and what it is clean panels that are easy to draw.
No, I'm not talking. Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like, look at this shit. So here you got the fucking axle or whatever this is,
Yes,
right here that
yeah,
goes up into the
right here,
bike.
right
But
here.
then, like, what is this square, this rectangle of circuitry and whatever behind it? It's
I
it's
like that's right
hysterical.
there on the bike too.
It's hysterical. But then the
No, I
weird
get
thing
it.
is when it reverts back to Danny Ketch's bike, it looks fine. So he
It's a
can
weird
clearly
looking bike.
it. It doesn't matter. This book it also has that like 90s thing where they're like, I believe this is still Comics Code approved, but they're like starting to push it. So there's like, like the thing where it's like on the news, you hear like, and then they were all five were disemboweled. Like they're like trying to go like really dark, but like, well, we can't show it, but just have the newscaster, like disembowel. There you go. I'm picturing like Sideshow Bob, like, oh, disembowel. Oh, I don't like
Oh,
that box.
wasn't it like Blackout walks into the room when a couple dating, and then you just see their flowers on the floor as he
Yeah,
walks
yeah,
away, and then like the
exactly.
news is like disemboweled.
And actually, I just flipped right to the one I was thinking of. So the Scarecrow character, at one point, I was like, I don't remember ever seeing this character, and he's obsessed with Captain America. I didn't read the Captain America with him in it,
Well, there you go. Yeah.
but I was literally like, wait a minute, is this like, did they steal the Batman character? I mean, there's always whatever character you have in DC or Marvel, there's an analog, and it's not usually you would
Yeah.
think, oh, they one ripped the other off, and it's usually not the case, right? It's like it happens almost at the same time, like Swamp Thing and Man Thing. But um the Scarecrow, I was just like, this is how is this not Batman's Scarecrow? It's so I don't know, it's so
Because
weird.
you can't. I looked it up once. It's because they can't copyright the word scarecrow because
Well,
it's a
of
thing.
course, of course. I mean,
And
to some degree, I'm sure they don't care.
no. Yeah, I mean, it's not like DC's. Oh, okay. I guess
They're all
our
having lunch together. They're all,
yeah.
they're in the 80s and 90s. They were all New York. I'm sure they were all like hanging out at the same bars and having lunch together. And
Oh, come on, it was a deli.
well,
They're all at the
yeah, of
same
course. But
delicatessens. Going, hey, Stan, I hear you got a scarecrow to your thing. Yeah, no problem. I got my man spider in my book.
but I just got to the one where they run afoul of this female vigilante group called the Heart Corp. It's just
Oh, it was hardcore.
I don't remember what Heart stands for. So I really do like Blackout and fucking what's his name? The other one, Death Face or whatever.
Death
I don't like him.
Watch.
Yeah, I don't like him so much. I think I don't know. I don't get it, but I like Blackout quite a bit. And maybe that's just because I know that, in issue 21 or whenever it was, he rips Danny throat, Ketch's throat out.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, and I gotta say, as far as the collection goes, it's kind of fun that they threw in the uh Marvel Comics Present stuff and the various crossovers he has with like, Doctor Strange and Moon Knight.
Yes.
My one complaint about that book, which I was shocked wasn't in there, but it's in this, is the Spider-Man crossover, the Todd McFarlane two issues that he shows up in Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man series isn't in that.
Yeah. Yeah. The fourth Spider book. That's right.
Yes, which was kind of the reason why I upgraded.
I can see that.
Like when I saw that, I was like, oh, well, crap, I want it all.
Marvel Comics Presents was a. I mean, remember when they started doing Weapon X and that, right? And it was like,
Yeah,
as a kid, I bought like the first one. I don't know what I did with that either. I had the first couple. That's worth money. I literally have no idea what I did with it.
I had them too. I don't think I didn't sell them for anything though.
It's just weird because usually, like, I don't know. I wasn't that. I was careless with some stuff like late, like when a lot of the stuff X-Men like post 300 at some point, I just gave it to my younger cousin because I was like, fuck all this. Um,
Uh-huh.
but something like the Marvel Comics Presents, that's weird that I don't know where it is. But I couldn't read it because I was like, I don't understand. I buy this and there's 3 pages of what I want to read, and then you know Sleepwalker or whatever it was. So
Sleepwalk. There was like always a Wolverine ongoing storyline in there, and then there was like the Ghost Rider took over for a while on there, but then it'll be like Daredevil will be like part of it, and then it'll be like, here's a Cloak and Dagger story, or here's a. Well, I mean, they literally have them on the covers there.
yeah, I
Um,
feel like I would be
Black
more
Widow or
tolerant of it
something,
now.
yeah.
I would understand the format better. At the time, I didn't understand that format at all.
Yeah,
Also, I think
yeah,
weren't they all like was Marvel Comics Presents like bi-weekly?
I think so.
I feel like it was.
I honestly only bought it when Ghost Rider showed up because I was, at that time, as I am now, everything Ghost Rider.
But even then, like
Um,
weren't you miffed that you like buy it and you get like 3 pages of Ghost Rider and then it's Cloak and Dagger?
yeah, kind of, but then I got, I didn't mind it sometimes because I read some of those. It was kind of neat to see those other characters, but yeah, it was kind of. I was miffed about it because I didn't think I'd be able to collect it in any other way.
Yeah. We didn't have well,
Also,
we
at the
didn't
time,
know,
like,
right?
yeah, and at that time, like, I think I only bought like 3 or 4 comics, so it wasn't like definitely a Marvel. The only thing I bought at Marvel was Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider
Right.
related stuff, and then there was Batman Detective and Teen Titans. And I think those were the only 4 titles I literally bought in a month. So it was kind of fun to have something to read that week.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Weapon X, I just bought the trade like this year. I'd never read
Oh
the
yeah.
full thing. I'd never read the full thing, but I also, when I was younger, I remember not getting Barry Windsor Smith's art at all. X-Men 205, it broke my brain. I didn't get it. And so it was the same thing with Weapon X when I was trying to read it in the first couple issues of Marvel Comics Presents, and I just turned a blind eye to it. And it was I had an appreciation like he's one of those artists. Like I looked at him as an adult from afar, and I was like, oh, actually, he's really good. But I hadn't read anything, and then I bought Weapon X because I think it was an episode of Cartoonist Kayfabe where they talked about it. They talked about no, they talked about X-Men 205, and I, I just suddenly like understood so much, and which was one of those great things about that fucking show, man. Rip Ed Piskor, and God bless Jim Rugg, but um,
So what happened in X-Men 205?
it's the one where what's Lady Deathstrike is born. She goes to Spiral's body shop and becomes Lady Deathstrike. I
Oh, okay.
feel like her name is Yuriko or something. I forget.
Yeah.
But his art is fucking amazing. But I totally get why as a kid I didn't get it. I just did not get
Yeah.
it at all. So I bought Weapon X and read it. And I was like, dude, this shit. But again, like you're talking about like, okay, Saga, like it's hard to read something at 22 or 25 pages a month, right? You'd rather wait. That was me with reading Marvel Comics Presents, where I'm like, it's literally, it wasn't 3 pages, but it was like 5 pages or something. It's like,
There's 6 pages in the middle of a story that like was cut up.
yeah,
And,
it's just, it
and
was
there was
really
parts
hard
where
to read
like
that.
like looking back at it now, I don't even remember how I read it. If I just bought it all and read it all at once, or if I just did the read it every week, you know, brain mushy now. But
Well, I would imagine you probably read it every week and you reread it. I mean, I don't know about you, but we had less stuff then to like like,
that's true.
and I reread shit all the time. Like Larry Hama's G.I. Joe and early Claremont X-Men. I read those comics. I wouldn't just like read a comic and then put it in a bag and board. I would read that comic I don't know how many times.
Oh, if I wasn't reading it, I was looking at the pictures and kind of just, you know what I mean? Just like
Yeah,
looking at it,
yeah.
enjoying the artwork or the story without the words, occasionally reading a word
Man,
balloon here and there.
that is so what did that volume right there set you back?
I'll tell you the retail. The retail is I took the cover off because I didn't want to damage it. The retail is 125.
So What issues are in there? Is that like the entirety of the Danny Ketch?
So this collects Ghost Rider 1 through 24.
There you go.
That was 1990. So that's 2 years. Spider-Man 6 and 7. Mark Spector Moon Knight 25. Doctor Strange Supreme 28. Punisher War Journal 29 and 30. Ghost Rider Wolverine Punisher Hearts of Darkness. Ooh, I didn't even realize that was in here. Which was like a prestige format thing
Oh
that they
yeah.
did. And material from, which means just the Ghost Rider stuff, from Marvel Comics Presents 64 through 71 and 90 through 118 and the Marvel Holiday Special #1. So that's a good chunk of stuff.
It's a good chunk of stuff. And also, I
Yeah.
don't know how long the Danny Ketch title ran, but to me, all I mean, it's the early 20s when he gets his throat ripped out. And I don't
So
know. I don't know what happens after that.
he had a 10-year run, I want to say. It ended
Really?
before issue 100. Yes, it lasted up to issue 100. Close to 100. I think the last issue was like 94, 84, something like that. I don't think it ever got to 100. And I remember distinctly because I was working at the comic book store. I started working at the comic book store when it ended,
Okay.
or a good year before it ended, or 2 years before it ended. And sales were so bad on that book, they didn't even bother putting out the last issue.
So
They
it
did
ran
10
from,
years later. But like there was like a whole storyline where he goes to hell and he becomes the king of hell, and like they're wrapping it up and like had a full storyline, and apparently I was the only person buying it, and yeah, they never bothered to put the last issue out for until um 10 years later or something like that. I
oh,
remember
yeah,
I had to
dude.
buy.
Okay. So this ran from 90 to 98. Okay.
Okay,
90
8 years.
issue 93 came out in February, or it has a cover date of February 1998. 94 that says finale on the cover
Yes.
came out in 2007. What a bunch of cunts. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude,
You don't know
what
how
a
mad
bunch
I
of
was.
fucking cunts. Holy shit. That is just, I mean, this looks awful. Like,
Oh,
okay,
there's some bad
I'll put
stuff
this
that happens
picture.
to Ghost Rider. Which
I'll put
one?
this picture in, but if there's this era, this is it. This is the era.
Is it the
The
red
era of
suit?
Marvel Comics that looks like this, the cover layout looks like this, is just
Okay.
there's nothing good. It's like there's just nothing good. Oh,
Oh no, you gotta put a picture up. Find a picture of Ghost Rider in a red jumpsuit. Because there was a time when he was running around in
like a leisure suit?
not like a leisure suit. It was like a red leather suit, and he kind of drove like his motor. It wasn't the motorcycle he was driving now. It was like a Japanese little motorcycle he was driving around. It was awful.
Dude, this just looks so fucking terrible. Oh, even
It
into the
wasn't
30s, this looks bad.
bad.
Like
Yeah, I'm all for it though.
25, that's the one where Danny Ketch gets his throat ripped out. I had that, that fucking weird ass cover.
Oh yeah, because he couldn't turn back to Danny
he
Ketch,
couldn't
so he
turn
had to
back into
stay
Danny
Ghost
Ketch.
Rider without him dying. Yeah, that
And
was, and
then,
yeah, it was like a weird gold silver cover, wasn't it? Yeah.
yep. And 26 and 27 are crossovers with X-Men because that was like right when Jim Lee's X-Men was kicking ass. And then they go right into launching Midnight Suns. And I remember that. I bought talk about more books. I don't know where they are. I bought like the Ghost Rider and then the Midnight Suns book where they brought Johnny Blaze back. And let
Yeah.
me say this. The first Ghost Rider I ever read when I was a kid was Johnny Blaze. I don't remember much about it. Whatever. Danny Ketch to me, this book, when I think of Ghost Rider, I think of this book first.
Yeah, I do enjoy it a lot. I always think of the logo on his which I'm looking at. It's on the back of this book here. That logo on the bike, the weird little like squinty face guy.
Oh yeah.
Such a
No, it's a
weird
cool.
logo. I don't know where they came up with that.
It's a cool book. It's definitely a cool book, and I thank you.
Yeah, I'm
And
looking forward to more. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you read it. It's those epic collections. They do a really nice job. If it
seriously,
wasn't for
how is that a
which one's that?
motorcycle?
Yes, it looks so badass.
Oh my God.
It's not. It's a demon cycle.
Yeah, well, there you go. I guess fuck me.
And to
uh,
be fair, it looks better than Johnny Blaze's red motorcycle. That was just red because it was made out of hellfire, so it was just red.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, he had a couple different kinds.
Well, okay. So
I'm out.
that's Drinking with Comics.
Is that it?
I'm Sean.
I'm Mike.
We'll be back soon. Hi, I'm Sean. Join me and my friends every week for the Horror Vision, where we talk about horror movies.